Now we'll be studying about change in PSR. Change in PSR means when the profit sharing ratio of partners changes. So let's try to understand that with the help of one example. So there are two partners and they've explained it with the help of slices A and B. So there are 8 slices. So they decided they'll be sharing it in the ratio of 5:3, and say A will get 5 slices and B will get 3 slices, and they were earlier sharing it equally. So earlier each one was getting 4 slices, and now each, say the first one A was getting 4 out of 8. Now A will get 5 out of 8. That means A will get one extra share, whereas we will have to bear a loss, has to sacrifice 1/4 share. So B is giving to 1/4 share. This was pizza, but in business also there can be changes, and if someone is gaining or sacrificing, we need to make adjustments for the same accordingly. So today we'll be studying about this change in PSR. How do we handle this? How is the treatment of goodwill? How do we calculate the ratio? First, we find out who is gaining, who is sacrificing. We may use this ratio SON, sacrifice is equal to old minus new. If negative sacrifice comes, it means it is a gain. Step 1 of such questions is to compare and find out who is gaining and who is sacrificing. Different examples, this will be shared in the link. You can go through this, you can solve that, and once that solution is made, who's gaining, who's sacrificing, we come to the basic notes. How do we treat different things, starting with first calculating who is sacrificing, who is gaining, and what will be its impact on goodwill. We follow a GS Gabbar Singh rule over here, where we say that gaining partner is debited and sacrificing partner is credited. But with what? Amount of goodwill of the firm, not just goodwill, but goodwill of firm we take, and we multiply them with their share of gain, and when we are calculating sacrifice, we multiply with the share of sacrifice made by the partner. So we follow GS rule here. Example, goodwill of firm 60,000. A and B were sharing in the ratio of 3:2, and their new ratio is 2:3. So what happens? A will sacrifice 1/5, B will gain 1/5. So B's capital or current account, depending on the capital, they are fixed or fluctuating, and A's capital gets credited. Goodwill of firm is 60,000. Multiply this with 1/5. So amount for the entry will be 12,000 rupees. Then we come to the case of accumulated profits, losses, general reserve, etc. Over here, there are two issues. In accumulated profits or losses, they may decide, because they're sharing the ratio, they may or may not have an impact of this in balance sheet. If they want to show the change in balance sheet, that means they do not want to show this in new balance sheet, general reserve. New balance sheet means balance sheet after new ratio, or they want to show it as it is. So here adjustment has to be through capital accounts, and here if it's general reserve, we give say A and B were partner, we give it to them in their old ratio. If accumulated loss is there, A and B to P&L we do this in the old ratio, we transfer it to them. But when you have to show it through capital or current account, again GS rule applies. Gaining partner gets debited, sacrificing partner's capital account gets credited. Current if the capitals are fixed. With what? With the amount of profit. Say 60,000 is the reserve, and say B is gaining 1 by 5, then 60,000 into 1 by 5 will be done. So we divide the reserve in the ratio of gain or sacrifice. Gaining partner is debited, sacrificing is credited. But this happens when we have profit. But if we have loss, then the rule changes. What is the change in rule? Earlier we were following which rule? We were following GS. When loss happens, rule becomes reverse of that, SG. Sacrificing partner is debited, gaining partner gets credited. Sacrificing partner's capital account gets debited, gaining partner's capital account gets credited. That's the treatment. Let the reserve be 10,000, say P&L debit balance or deferred revenue expense be 10,000. Then in that case, A who is sacrificing gets debited, B who is gaining gets credited. Amount is 10,000 into 1 by 5. That's the accounting treatment of accumulated profits and losses. Then we come to the next concept, which is their revaluation profit or loss. We all know how to calculate reval profit loss. Just a quick reminder of that. When we prepare reval account, all good things come on credit side, all bad things come on debit side. Good means increase in asset, decrease in liability, unrecorded asset. Bad means decrease in asset, increase in liability, or any unrecorded liability. Now you can either have profit or you can have loss. So if you have profit, follow the rule GS. If you have the loss, follow the rule SG. This has to be done if we want to show these assets at their old values. Okay, here again this question comes. Say machine depreciated by 10%. Machine depreciates by 10%. Machine is 50,000. So 5,000 turns out to be revaluation loss. Okay, so this revaluation loss can be treated in two ways. If you want to show machine at 45,000 in new balance sheet, then simple reval to AB distribute in old ratio this 5,000 loss. But if you don't want to follow that, you will follow I, because loss is there, you will follow SG. Sacrificing partner gets debited, gaining partner gets credited. Amount is 5,000 into share of gain or sacrifice. Let it be 1 by 5. It will become 1,000 as amount. Here we are making adjustment through their capital account. This topic may be tested as long question where you'll prepare balance sheet, reval, etc. Capital account. This may also be tested only as MCQs or short question where entries can be asked in 3-mark questions. Practice the solved illustrations and MCQs relating to the same from Gravel book.